Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another inspirational video, sort of. Or I guess it could be anticlimactic. It could be inspirational, depending on how you think about it. Remember, if you like the videos, like, sub, silly comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks, super chat, PayPal, Patreon, whatever. I was looking at this, and do you really realize this will delete me for a second? Or well, I'm still there. These pictures are 20 years old. Actually, a little bit older than 20 years, but man, that's crazy, isn't it? I was recently looking at this. I'm like, wow, these pictures are 20 years old, dude. This was fucking 20 years ago. Like, even look at my. I didn't even like. I was looking at, like, look at my fucking like eyebrows after the radiation. Even my eyebrow hair was coming out. I just think about how fucked up I look, dude, in those pictures. Just man, not a good time. I mean, look, I 20 years ago, dude. Look at my face, dude. Just there's a person that he legitimately doesn't know how much longer he's going to be alive. You know, like things were not good, and of course we can show just because I know sometimes people get mad. No, this can't be you. This can't be you. But then there's my health record. Will delete me again just in case you can see that is my name, right? I can't type anything, right? And people are always like, how can someone have so many different health problems? Blah 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 blah. Well, you know what? When you're like dying, you know what I mean? When you've been sick since you've been a kid, in and out of the hospital your entire life, when you've actually been dying before yet, you have a lot of problems, dude. Like things are not good, you know. And I do look at stuff like that. Of course, then this was what, just a few weeks ago when I was in Japan. I took these pictures. That's me now. And of course, if we there's the dad bod now. You can look at it. There you go. You can sign up to the OnlyFans if you want to see more. But I was just sometimes I look at those pictures and I think about, wow, dude. Like I am probably pretty lucky to be alive, and I still even I show those pictures of Japan. Japan, I was in a wheelchair for part of it. Was very sick, and my health is still bad. I'm in and out of the hospital all the time. Things are not good. It was a very bad health year last year. You know, but I guess the inspirational part about this is you think like, look at those. That's 20 years ago. Like I should be dead probably. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until 2008. When I was in the hospital and doctors were giving me my will, and you could die. And 2008 was really that point where I was like, whoa, I got to stop praying for God to save me. Because at this rate, I don't have much time left. And it took me a year before I could even do anything again. And I've been on disability since 2003. So even when you look at these images here, that was 2004. Of course, so it's longer than it's 2025 now. But you think 2024 is when those images were. But I was already on disability at 2003. And think about the video game thing. I mean, people forget when I was going to tournaments, winning tournaments, looking like that. You know, I won every tournament that I went to almost for an entire year. My first year of disability, besides Evo, right? And I just, God, I can't. I didn't realize. I was just looking at that again, like, God, even I can see my eyebrow hair was coming out after the radiation. That's fucking. I could have taken a more unflattering screenshot, to be honest with you, but I was like, that's unflattering enough, and it's gonna go on my YouTube. But wow, that's crazy, right? You look at that, and you can see my face is fucked up. All my hair is just fried. It's coming out. I from a video game perspective, I guess I look at that and I'm like, wow, I cannot believe I was actually going to tournaments and winning tournaments in that condition. And I should have showed a picture of my pants, like I said, because I would always bring. I used to wear khakis all the time because I would bring garbage bags in my pocket for just might get sick in between a match in the bathroom. Just so fucked up going to those tournaments. And again, I'm still sick now, but you know, I guess the inspirational thing is, and perhaps anticlimactic. You know, again, maybe you could say, "Oh, well, geez, Clayton, like, look what you've been able to achieve with low testosterone, all that kind of stuff, right?" Which, of course, I did start TRT recently again, but you know, you could look at my body, and this isn't the most buff I've ever been. Looking at that, I've actually been more buff before, but I started the TRT because things have just gotten so bad. But you look at images like this, and it just goes to show you got to be the best version of yourself that you can be, dude. Because look at me, dude. That was over 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I'd already been on disability for a year. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be alive. 2008, doctors were basically like, yo, dude, you might die. We don't know. Here's your will. You might need to start thinking about it, dude. Like, things, it's only getting worse, right? But I'm still around, right? And that's pretty crazy. And I guess just thinking YouTube, I'll put like 20 years later, right? Because that makes it sound like amazing, I guess, or something. It's actually longer. But I mean, that just goes to show you got to be the best version of yourself you could be. I always look at images like this too, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe if I wouldn't have, because when I first got sick, well, again, I was, of course, you just don't go on disability. You don't just go got sick. I had already been sick even before 2003, but 2003 is when I actually went on disability. Things had gotten so bad. But, a lot of times I think, what if I would have, I feel like, I gave up, right? I gave up and I trusted my doctors. And who knows? I don't know. It's hard to even like fathom when I look at these pictures sometimes because it's like a different person almost. It's hard to even put into words. Like, God, look at that picture on the right. My God. I cannot believe that that was me almost. Although I can feel how I feel now and knowing that I'm still sick and in and out of the hospital all the time, but I guess I had not gotten that will to live at that point, right? I had not, of course, I didn't know what was going on, or I did not know exactly how sick I was. Of course, I had already done radiation for all that kind of stuff. Like things were not good, but and that's one of those things too. Some people maybe they get cancer, and this isn't talking shit about anybody that does cancer or anything like that, But sometimes maybe let's say that you have cancer and then you get rid of it and you're health free. Unfortunately for me, when I did all that radiation, it was just downhill, and I just started developing all these autoimmune diseases one after the other, you know, and then eventually was just straight up dying of C. diff in the hospital for a while, right? I don't know, but and I guess the thing is, again, you look at some of these images and you think that although I was sick most of the time in Japan, but there's a person that's over 20 years later, and you think, man, I have somehow faked being so cool, quotation marks, faked being so cool that I had like high school girls basically crying that I didn't fuck them. Why won't you fuck me, please? Blah blah blah. Right? You know what I mean? I've showed before. I posted some videos on YouTube. I have people stop me and ask for my autograph to this day. Not this past weekend, but 2 weekends ago. I had a group of people coming like, "Hey, can we take pictures with you?" Because I'm sort of somewhat known in my area. It's like, "Oh, everybody knows who you are. Take pictures with us, blah blah. You're so cool." I could probably show you. I got a message from some modeling stuff recently, and they're like, "Well, you're kind of a local celebrity in the area. Would you do some stuff for us, right?" You know, I want you to think about that. That like I'm a local celebrity because people know who I am because of how I look. I stick out so much, right? Everybody know who's you are, right? You know what I think? And this is over 20 years after. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna die, right? And of course, I say it's anticlimactic because, I mean, God, I still have people steal my pictures on the internet. There's a guy 20 years later, people are still stealing his pictures on the internet. Right? I still have people. I had a girl. recently. It's never gonna stop. Girl thinks I fuck every single girl that I know, so she doesn't trust me. You know what I mean? There's no way you're not fucking everybody, right? You know, you must be a terrible person. You know, and so of course there's bad and there's good, but you know, you got to be the best person that you could be. You know, people don't try hard enough. Again, what is your problem? I've had to teach myself how to walk again, dude. You know, I mean, I have had many hard times in my life. I still have the most painful human condition known to man, many doctors say. I had the worst cluster headache period year that I've had many, many years. Excuse me. That's why I think that fucking COVID was so bad this year when I got it. You know, all my hair is coming all out again. I'm super fucked up. You know, it's terrible. And again, I guess that's what I mean. It's like anticlimactic, you could say. But imagine if you are not in my shoes. You don't have the problems I have. This just goes to show you, dude, you can better yourself. You can look like this. And then 20 years later, imagine if you don't have the health problems I have. Imagine if you don't have the health problems I have. People got to remember this body I have that people think that I go to the gym or some shit like this. I do bands and body weight stuff. And I don't even do, I'm not even talking about huge, like, you know, calisthenic crazy shit, right? I'm talking, I do push ups and chin ups, dude. You know, I don't do a lot of shit. And thank God for some muscle memory because I've said over the years as my health has continued to get worse and worse, I barely do jack shit when I work out. I'm basically just maintaining. But guess what? That body makes people spill their spaghettis. They're spaghettis. They're spaghetti, right? You can do it. If I can do it with the health problems that I have, I'm still in and out of the hospital all the time. I'm still on disability. Now, unfortunately, again, like I said, because of this, although I get these opportunities, I can't really take advantage of them. You know what I mean? But imagine, like, what the fuck are you doing with it? You're not even being held down by a fucking health problem. People make fake problems. Like, I'll never understand what an extravagant luxury to be able to make a fake problem. You must not have real problems. I can't even imagine what it's like to make up lies about somebody, to make a fake problem, to like get some sort of self pity or some shit like that. Like, bro, how boring must your life be that you can't even think of a real problem? You think about the video game, oh, let's make up lies about Clayton. He must be a terrible person. Blah blah blah. You know, you can't. You know, I got to do some more. I got to do some more silly Discord drama videos because I saw some random people again, just the absolute insanity when I read the shit that people say about me. Like it's an imaginary fairy tale about me. They have no real problem of their own, so they have to make fake problems. And it's like, look at my problem, dude. That's over 20 years ago, and I still, and which I don't like how I look. You know what I mean? I actually don't like how I look. Or again, we're talking about. I post the videos sometimes. You know, groups of people ask me to take pictures with them. Even when I'm in Japan, people know who I am, despite me not being in Japan actually that much. Oh, everyone knows Final Fantasy guy. Oh, you know, Disney Prince. You're Disney Prince. Everybody knows Disney Prince. You know, blah blah. Everybody remembers you. You know. All right, yeah, the kick thing. Where oh my god, girl spills her spaghetti right in front of me. It's it's hard for me to even take myself seriously because I still, although it's hard, like although I say I don't recognize that person, I still am that person maybe. From a certain perspective, I guess you could say. Obviously my will to live is so much stronger now, although I have certainly become more apathetic and my sense of defeat is only growing in life, that I'm still sick no matter how healthy I try to be. It seems I've only prolonged my inevitable death from every autoimmune disease wreaking havoc on my body after all this radiation. You know what I mean? I have absolutely no immune system anymore. I can't keep myself out of the hospital to fucking save my life, you know, but I don't know, dude. But that's a clickbait, man. 20 years later, dude, those pictures. Gotta keep going, dude. I mean, right? Yeah. If you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you can. Appreciate it. Thanks. The end.